Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to the universe.
Guess I'm locked in. Looking for a piece of mind. I've been trying to redefine life. I can see the signs. Word is going to see me shine. Fighting for my soul, say, whipping fast, no brakes.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings to the universe. All praises goes to the Most High. Ashe. I am Queen Ashe. They taught me to shine, to be seen, to be admired. But nobody told me vanity can look like confidence, feel like power, and still lead me away from truth. I'm Queen Ashe. Today the mirror tells the truth.
Hey, stay away from people that are full of vanity. Because damn near 100% of the time, people that are full of vanity have a big ego. What is vanity? Vanity is the obsession with self-image. Not just looking good, because everyone should take pride in how they look. But when it crosses into the territory of, I need validation for how I look, or what I'm doing and who I'm with, that's vanity.
Baby, vanity is a good enough reason. Vanity is a good enough reason. We know you're a good person. We know you're a good person, but you're not getting the things that you want out of life because you're faking why you want it. Vanity is a good enough reason. It's a deep enough reason to go after the things that you want. I love you.
Vanity is when you do things for others, how others perceive you, what others are going to say about
into
you,
both of you,
how others are going to view you. So it's about you putting so much emphasis in the things that you're doing.
Why would they do that?
Over focusing on how you look so somebody can view you a certain way. Over focusing on purchasing that house, not because you want to live comfortably, but because you want others to say, look at the house that this person purchased. Overcompensating on the car you purchased because you maybe didn't have any even to ride on when you were younger. Those are the type of things that now you're overemphasizing on the earthly things to give yourself status, and that's what creates that illusion, that vanity that he's talking about. That's what vanity is in a nutshell. That's the definition. Everything else, we're now combining and adding things to it to make it into one big bucket, and it's not. That's different. Pride and ego are two different things that we have to wrestle with and deal with on a separate basis. We're talking about vanity here. That's going to be specifically doing things for what others perceive or say about you, creating an image in front of people. And when that's so important to you that you're taking actions so that the person can now maybe see you differently than you even see yourself, that's where the root of the problem is. But when your mind is locked in on first how to please God, everything else is ancillary. When your mind is focused and locked in on Christ,
correct,
on God, because you're looking to amount treasures in heaven. So now you're dressing to honor God, to represent yourself well in front of people, so that people don't focus on what you wear, but on what you say. So people focus on the heart of Jesus that you're projecting out of your voice and the things that you have the opportunity to say. That is the mindset that Solomon is speaking about.
Now let's talk about vanity. Now vanity is having excessive pride or admiration in your own appearance or achievements. And an example of vanity could be someone thinking that they look the best out of everyone at their school or job. It's like you have an inflated ego and think that you're better than everyone else. And vanity stems from being insecure, and people who are vain tend to be very insecure about themselves. They constantly seek praise, validation, and affirmations from others just to be cool and fit in. And here are some signs that someone could be vain of themselves. Zero acknowledgement of past mistakes, totally self-absorbed in their beauty, impossible to advise but loves to give it. Pause if you want to read the rest. And people who are vain can also be arrogant, conceited, and narcissistic. And vanity is a negative trait, so watch out for these type of people because they are very obsessed with themselves and boastful about their achievements and the things that they do. And they also like to insult and belittle people with zero apologies and no remorse. So just be careful and watch your surroundings for these type of people because they carry a lot of negative energy and don't respect anyone but themselves. Peace and love.
Okay, so I just learned something really interesting.
So vanity isn't what we think it is. The real definition of vanity is the preoccupation with others' opinion. Wow. So it's not the fact that we are thinking about ourselves too much. It's the fact that we are thinking about what other people are thinking about us too much. Everything that a vain person does is to be accepted by other people. They are constantly asking the question, what will other people say? So a lot of people, they will not post on social media. They will not start that business because they've got that one person on their Facebook page from high school that they don't want to look at them differently. Some people are not doing what God has called them to do, not because they're shy, but because they're vain. They are more concerned about the opinions of others than the opinion of God. How sad. The remedy is to remember your identity. You are a child of God. Instead of asking, what will they think of me? Ask yourself, what does God think about me and what does God say about me? We need to seek the glory that comes from Christ alone and not mere human beings. So much of our time is consumed by what other people think. And we need to be free from people's approval or their disapproval. Because whether you're doing something good or whether you're doing something bad, somebody will always have something to say. You cannot please everyone, nor should you want to. Live your life.
The spirit of vanity has us all in a chokehold, and we really need to talk about it. You can't hide what God can always see. The problem is we're okay with having a 10-step skincare routine, but we're not okay with sitting with God for 10 minutes. We're okay with spending $50 on makeup, but we're not okay with tithing or giving to the poor. Shift your perspective and use the same amount of time that you are focusing on your outward appearance to get in the presence of God so that He can shift your inward appearance.
Vanity. Vanity is when you become the human equivalent of a selfie stick. It's a sin that makes you so obsessed with your looks or status that you'd put a peacock to shame. Let's say you're in a restaurant and there's that one person who's constantly checking their reflection on the nearest shiny surface, whether it's a spoon, a window, or even someone's glasses. That's vanity in action. It's like you think you're a walking piece of art that should be displayed in a museum. Now, vanity is not just about enjoying a compliment, but about needing it, as if a never-ending battery of external praise powers your self-esteem, because basically you need validation from others. But it's not just about admiring yourself in the mirror, but also about feeling like you have a personal fan club following you around. That's why in medieval times, it was a deadly sin, as it could make you forget about humility. Imagine taking an Instagram star to the 1500s. They'd instantly become the embodiment of vanity. While it may be okay to feel good about yourself and how you look once in a while, the problem is when you turn self-love into a full-time job, where you'll be too busy hogging the spotlight without noticing that there's a world beyond your reflection.
The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines vanity as inflated pride in oneself or one's appearance, or something that is vain, empty, or valueless. People who are vain are normally self-absorbed, selfish, and prideful. So vanity isn't just about your looks, although that is a major component of it. It is an inflated pride in yourself. So it could be in your achievements, in your accolades, in your wisdom and knowledge. And it could just be, it just comes down to pride really. But a lot of it does have to do with having vanity about your looks.
What's more important, your clothes or your body? So you should not be out here chasing designer clothes and stressing over what clothes you gotta wear, stressing over which clothes look better. You shouldn't be stressing over clothes. No, what's more important, your clothes or your body? Now I'm gonna ask you this, what's more important, your body or your man? You're not taking none of these earthly materials with you when you die. Stop focusing on storing your treasures on these earthly materialistic things. You're not taking this shit with you when you die. Focus on storing your treasures in heaven. What that means is focus on obtaining knowledge of self. Vanity is a sin. Stop being so stressed. Stop being so worried about your looks and your makeup and your hair and how your hair look. And stop being vanity is a sin. Focus on your man. You're not taking none of this shit with you when you die. All is mental, sweaty. Get your man right. Shout out to the most tattoo Baba Z. I love myself.
Y'all, so I had just saw this vanity mirror on Facebook, right? And then something had just clicked to me, like, vanity. Like, why do they call it a vanity? And if you look at the spiritual meaning of vanity, God says vanity means self-idolatry. I don't know, guys. And, like, what do you use a vanity mirror to do? Look at yourself. Like, all day. Maybe not all day, but majority of the day, if you're like one of those girls. I don't know, guys. I've always wanted a vanity mirror too, but now I don't even want it because why did they call it that? This why like I don't have no friends now, because like I look at everything so spiritual, but it just clicked in my head randomly now.